Hello everyone. This video tells you about the complete notes of the chapter acids, bases and salts for the class 10th. So this notes is useful for the students for preparing board examinations in a well manner. Acids, bases and salts, second chapter, class 10 chemistry. Let us discuss the acids and bases. Acids are those which are sour in taste and turn blue litmus red. Acids are of two types. They are mineral acids or inorganic acids and organic acids. Mineral acids are of two types again. That is hydracids. Hydracids are those which contain hydrogen and only negative radical. So examples for hydracids are hydrogen chloride. In gaseous state it is referred as hydrogen chloride, where it is when it is dissolved in water, that is it becomes aqueous, and it is aqueous solution of HCl is hydrochloric acid. Other examples are hydrogen bromide, hydrogen iodide, hydrogen fluoride and hydrogen cyanide. Second type of mineral acids are oxyacids or oxoacids. They are the solution of carbon dioxide, that is CO2, is called carbonic acid. In oxoacids again there are two types, that is the one containing less amount of oxygen ends with the suffix "us", and the one with more content of oxygen ends with ic acid. Us acid, ic acid. For example, nitrous acid and nitric acid. In nitrous acid, amount of oxygen is less, that is the formula is HNO2, whereas nitric acid is amount of oxygen is more, that is nitric acid. So these two acids are the nitrogen acids. Oxyacids containing sulfur are sulfurous acid, that is H2SO4, which contain less amount of oxygen, and sulfuric acid which contain more amount of oxygen, that is the formula is H2SO4. Another acid is phosphoric acid. Now let us see the properties of acids. Acids are sour in taste. Acids turn blue litmus red. Metals react with dilute acids to form respect salt solution and hydrogen gas. So when magnesium reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid, we get magnesium chloride and hydrogen gas. Aluminium reacts with hydrochloric acid and forms aluminium chloride and hydrogen. Similarly, zinc reacts with hydrochloric acid to form zinc chloride and hydrogen. Now let us demonstrate a small activity. So here zinc granules are taken in a hard glass tube and it is fixed with a 2-hole rubber cork. Through 1-hole a thistle funnel is passed. Thistle funnel is used to pour the acid into a closed vessel, and here this is the bent delivery tube. So when a hydrochloric acid is poured into this hard glass tube containing zinc granules, reaction takes place as shown here and hydrogen gas comes out. This hydrogen gas is sent through water, therefore hydrogen gas being insoluble, it comes out of the water. When a burning matchstick is kept here, the matchstick is put off and gas burns with a puff sound. So this is the test for hydrogen gas, or hydrogen gas is identified in this manner. Acids react with metal carbonates and bicarbonates to release carbon dioxide gas. Respective metallic salt solution is formed in this reaction. So bicarbonates like calcium carbonate, magnesium carbonate, barium carbonate, zinc carbonate, copper carbonate, etc. All these bicarbonates react with dilute acids, that is hydrochloric acid, and form respective metallic chloride and carbon dioxide gas. So when limestone or marble chips, chemically it is calcium carbonate. When calcium carbonate is reacts with hydrochloric acid, we get calcium chloride and water and carbon dioxide. In the same manner, all carbonates react with hydrochloric acid and form respective metallic chloride and water and carbon dioxide. Whereas when bicarbonates are reacted with hydrochloric acid, we get same products are obtained: calcium chloride, water and carbon dioxide. Similarly, magnesium bicarbonate, zinc bicarbonate, barium bicarbonate also, they give the same products. When sodium hydrogen carbonate and potassium hydrogen carbonate, when they react with the hydrochloric acid, they give respective chloride, that is sodium chloride or potassium chloride, water and carbon dioxide. Reaction with sulfuric acid. Reaction of sulfuric acid with carbonates and bicarbonates. When carbonates and bicarbonates react with sulfuric acid, dilute sulfuric acid, we get respective sulfate, water and carbon dioxide. When calcium carbonate reacts with dilute sulfuric acid, we get calcium sulfate, water and carbon dioxide. In the same manner, sodium hydrogen carbonate, that is sodium bicarbonate, reacts, we get sodium sulfate, water and carbon dioxide. Potassium bicarbonate reacts with sulfuric acid to form potassium sulfate, water and carbon dioxide. Similarly, magnesium carbonate reacts with dilute acid, we get magnesium sulfate, water and carbon dioxide. Concentrated sulfuric acid reacts with metals and metals, we get sulfur dioxide gas, and respective metallic sulfate is formed apart from water. So zinc plus concentrated sulfuric acid, we get zinc sulfate, sulfur dioxide and water. Copper reacts with concentrated sulfuric acid, we get copper sulfate, sulfur dioxide and water. So this sulfur dioxide gives a characteristic suffocating smell, that is sulfur burning smell. Similarly, concentrated nitric acid reacts with zinc, copper, etc. to release reddish brown gas, that is nitrogen dioxide, apart from the respective nitrate and water. So here copper plus nitric acid gives copper nitrate, nitrogen dioxide and water. Zinc plus nitric acid gives zinc nitrate, nitrogen dioxide and water. Organic acids. Some acids are obtained from living organisms like plant products and animal products. Example, acid and source. Formic acid is obtained from stings of bees and red ants. Acetic acid, vinegar. Oxalic acid, tomatoes. Tartanic acid from tamarind. Malic acid from apples. Citric acid from citrus fruits like lemon, oranges, etc. So mineral acids are obtained by dissolving non-metal oxides in water. So this is the preparation of mineral oxides. Mineral oxides are obtained by dissolving non-metallic oxides in water. For example, carbon dioxide is dissolved in water, we get carbonic acid. This carbonic acid is nothing but a solution of carbon dioxide, and it is nothing but aerated waters or fizzy drinks, etc. When sulfur dioxide is dissolved in water, we get a solution of sulfur dioxide, and it is sulfurous acid. Similarly, nitrogen dioxide dissolves in water, we get two acids, that is nitrous acid and nitric acid. Dinitrogen pentoxide dissolves in water, we get nitric acid. Phosphorus pentoxide dissolves in water, we get phosphoric acid. Similarly, phosphorus trioxide dissolves in water, we get phosphorus acid. When non-metal oxide dissolves in water, it gives a solution, and the non-metal oxide which when dissolves in water to give an acid is called anhydride. Thus, anhydride of phosphoric acid is P2O5. Anhydride of nitric acid is N2O5. Bases are those substances which are bitter in taste and turn red litmus blue, soapy to touch. When active metals like sodium, potassium, calcium, etc. react with water and bases are obtained. So sodium plus water gives sodium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. Potassium reacts with water to give potassium hydroxide and water. So sodium hydroxide is also commonly known as caustic alkali. Potassium hydroxide is commonly referred as caustic potassium. Calcium reacts with water to form calcium hydroxide. Calcium hydroxide, solution of calcium hydroxide is known as lime water. When metal oxides are dissolved in water, we get bases. So this is another method of preparation of bases. Calcium oxide dissolves in water, calcium hydroxide. Calcium oxide is referred as quicklime. Sodium oxide dissolves in water to form sodium hydroxide. Similarly, barium oxide dissolves in water to get barium hydroxide. Neutralization reaction. A reaction in which an acid and base react with each other to form salt and water is called neutralization reaction. Neutralization is a type of double decomposition. Sodium hydroxide reacts with HCl, we get sodium chloride and water. Similarly, potassium hydroxide reacts with sulfuric acid, we get potassium sulfate and water. During neutralization, metal ion comes from base and negative radical comes from acid, we get a salt. So here different bases and acids are given. Base, sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide. barium hydroxide, ammonium hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide. Similarly, acids are hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, phosphoric acid, acetic acid, sulfurous acid, and nitrous acid and carbonic acid. So you can make an exercise, write the reactions between every acid and every base, so that you will get many neutralization reactions, which is a practice for you. Now let us see Arrhenius theory of acids and bases. According to Arrhenius theory, an acid is a substance which furnishes H plus ion in its aqueous solution, and a base is a substance which furnishes OH minus ion in its aqueous solution. Neutralization is a reaction between H plus ion from acid and OH minus ion from base to form water. So HCl, when it is dissolved in water, we get H plus and Cl minus, or the same reaction can be shown in the same another manner. HCl plus H2O gives H3O plus hydronium ion and chloride ion. Similarly, NaOH dissolves in water, we get sodium plus and OH minus. Here, please note that H plus ion is responsible for the acidic properties of acids, and hydroxyl ion, OH minus ion, is responsible for the basic properties of bases. Strength of acids and bases, that is strong acid, strength of acids and bases, and pH scale. pH is the negative logarithm of H plus ion concentration. So pH equal to minus log H plus. Dissociation or ionization of water is very less at normal temperature. Normal temperature is 25 degrees centigrade. Even if the dissociation of water is water into its ions, which is very less, there exists an equilibrium between ionized or dissociated ions and undissociated water. That is, H plus plus OH minus gives water. Or in the reverse side, H2O gives H plus ion and OH minus ion. If one water molecule dissociates or ionizes into its ions, we get one H plus ion and one OH minus ion. That is, during the ionization, concentration of H plus ion is equal to the concentration of OH minus ion. So the concentration of ions or solutions are shown in square brackets, that is H plus and OH minus. As concentrations of H plus ion and OH minus ion same in the during the ionization of water, let the concentration of H plus and OH minus ions in the ionization of water is equal to X. Therefore, H plus and OH minus equal to X. Equilibrium between dissociated ions and undissociated water is shown as H2O gives H plus and OH minus. Equilibrium constant can be written as K equal to H plus into OH minus by H2O. Or bring this concentration of water to this side. Concentration of water is almost the same because the ionization of water is very less. So K equilibrium into water concentration equal to H plus and OH minus. Since ionization of water is very less, therefore the concentration of water, that is H2O in square brackets, is constant. Since equilibrium constant is a constant and concentration of water is also a constant, the product of these two constants, that is Keq into concentration of water, is another constant represented by Kw. That is Kw equal to H plus into OH minus. Kw is called ionic product of water. Ionic product of water means ionic product of water is found experimentally at 25 degrees as 10 to the power minus 14 mole square per liter square. So Kw equal to H plus into OH minus equal to 10 to the power minus 14. Let us replace H plus and OH minus with X because concentrations are same. X into X equal to 10 to the power minus 14, or X equal to under root 10 to the power minus 14 equal to 10 to the power minus 7 mole per liter. During the ionization of water, H plus and OH minus ion concentration is same. Therefore, in ionization of water, H plus ion concentration equal to OH minus ion concentration equal to 10 to the power minus 7. Now, let us apply this in pH. pH equal to minus log H plus. So, pH of water equal to minus log 10 to the power 7, that is minus into minus 7 log 10. This equal to 7 into 1 since log 10 equal to 1. Therefore, for pH of water is, pH for water is 7. Solutions with pH less than 7 are acidic in nature, and solutions with pH from 7.1 to 14 are basic in nature. In this diagram, it is given that the pH ranges from 0 to 14, and this red line strip indicates the nature of solutions, that is acidic, basic or neutral. So from 0 to 6.9, pH range from 0 to 6.9 shows that they are acidic in nature, and acidic nature decreases from 0 to 6.9. And solutions with exactly pH 7 are pure water or neutral solutions. pH range from 7.1 to 14, they are basic in nature, and basic nature increases from 7.1 to 14. Here it is pH strip. Now the solution whose pH is to be determined, a drop of solution is kept on the pH strip, and the color obtained is compared with this original strip. So if the color is matching to any of this color, the pH is determined as mentioned here in the pH strip. Therefore the nature of the solution can be obtained. Strength of the acids: strong acid, strong base; weak acid, weak base. Strong acid is that which ionizes to maximum extent in its aqueous solutions and gives large number of H plus ions. Example: hydrochloric acid HCl, nitric acid HNO3, sulfuric acid H2SO4. Now let us see weak acid. Those acids which ionize to less extent in their aqueous solutions and give less number of H plus ions are called weak acids. So examples for weak acids are nitrous acid HNO2, sulfurous acid H2SO3, carbonic acid H2CO3, phosphoric acid H3PO4, acetic acid CH3COOH. Note that all organic acids are weak acids. Now let us see strong base. Those bases which ionize to large extent in their aqueous solutions and give large number of OH minus, that is hydroxyl ions, are called strong bases. Oxides and hydroxides of alkali metals. Alkali metals means sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, etc. So their oxides and hydroxides are strong bases. So sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, RbOH, CSOH. Weak bases are those which ionize to less extent in their aqueous solutions and give less number of OH minus, that is hydroxyl ions. Oxides and hydroxides of second group metals, that is alkali metals, are weak bases. Magnesium oxide, magnesium hydroxide, CaO, CaOH twice. Strontium oxide, SRO, strontium hydroxide. Barium oxide and barium hydroxide. Moreover, ammonium hydroxide. Now let us see the nature of the salt. Salts obtained by neutralization of strong acid and strong base, and such salts are neutral, that is they are neither acidic nor base. Their pH is exactly 7. So for example, sodium hydroxide plus HCl gives sodium chloride and water. And other examples are potassium chloride, sodium sulfate, sodium nitrate, potassium nitrate, etc. All these are the solutions of salts of strong acid and strong bases. Their pH is 7, therefore they are neutral in nature. Salts obtained by reacting strong acids and weak bases, they are acidic in nature, that is those solutions turn blue litmus red. Their pH is less than 7. So weak bases are CaOH twice, BaOH twice, NH4OH. Therefore NH4OH plus HNO3 gives NH4NO3, that is ammonium nitrate plus water. This is the salt of strong acid and weak base. When it dissolves in water, more number of H plus ions are furnished, and hence the solution is acidic in nature. So when ammonium nitrate is dissolved in water, we get ammonium hydroxide, which is less dissociate, therefore H plus ions is more, therefore it is acidic in nature. Other examples are calcium nitrate, calcium chloride, calcium sulfate, magnesium nitrate. So nitrates, chlorides and sulfates of calcium, magnesium, barium and ammonium, all these are the salts of a strong acid and weak base, therefore they are acidic in nature. Salts of weak acids and strong bases. These salts are basic in nature, that is their aqueous solutions turn red litmus blue. They contain more number of OH minus ions than H plus ions. Their pH is more than 7. So NaOH plus H3PO4, strong base, weak acid. It gives sodium phosphate, which is basic in nature. So other examples are sodium sulfite, sodium carbonate, sodium nitrite, sodium phosphate. Similarly, potassium sulfate, potassium carbonate, potassium nitrate and potassium phosphate. So similarly, bisulfates and bicarbonates of sodium, potassium and others. pH importance and in everyday life. Plants and animals are pH sensitive. Human body works within the pH range of 7.0 to 7.8. Living organisms can survive only in a narrow range of pH change. When pH of rainwater is less than 5.6, then it is called rainwater. When rainwater flows into the rivers and other water bodies, pH of water comes down. Due to this, survival of aquatic life becomes very difficult. Turtles, crocodiles, etc., they have a protective layer made of calcium carbonate, and this calcium carbonate is insoluble in water. Therefore, the animal is safe. In the presence of rainwater, that is acid rain, the protective layer made of calcium carbonate reacts with acids and it is removed. Therefore, animal dies. Due to rainwater, plants have a stunted growth. That is, the growth is less than the expected. If rainwater falls on animals and human beings, it causes skin rashes and skin allergies. Plants and crops will grow in a definite range of pH. To have the proper growth of the plant and crops, the soil should be collected as samples from different corners of the field and pH of the soil should be tested. Depending on the pH scale, pH of the soil, proper care should be taken. If the soil is acidic, some lime should be sprinkled in calculated amounts. pH in our digestive system. Hydrochloric acid is produced in our stomach for digestion of food. It helps in the digestion of food without harming the stomach. During digestion, stomach may produce too much of HCl due to overeating or junk food, etc. This causes pain and irritation in the stomach. To get rid of this pain, antacids can be used. Usually, antacids have the bases like magnesium hydroxide, that is milk of magnesia, and aluminum hydroxide, etc. These antacids neutralize the excess production of HCl in the stomach. pH change is the cause of tooth decay. Tooth enamel is made of calcium hydroxyapatite, that is crystalline form of calcium phosphate, and it is insoluble in water. It is the hardest substance in the body. When the food particles left in the teeth, the bacteria present in the mouth make these leftover food particles into acids and pH becomes less than 5.5. When pH is less than 5.5, the enamel on the teeth gets corroded and teeth and gums may become weak. To prevent this tooth decay, mouth should be cleaned or washed with water thoroughly and should be gargled. Toothpastes are generally basic in nature. So, if teeth are brushed with toothpaste, can neutralize the teeth and excess acid can be prevented in the mouth. Self-defense by animals and plants. Chemical warfare. When sting bees or red ants bit us, it causes pain and irritation due to methanoic acid enters into the skin as they bite. These insects release methanoic acid or formic acid into the bodies of other which cause harm to them. To get relief from the pain and irritation, mild bases like baking soda can be applied on the stung area. Nature provides neutralization. Nettle is a plant which grows in the wild areas. Its leaves have a stinging air which cause painful stings when touched. This is due to the methanoic acid secreted by them. A traditional remedy is rubbing the area with the leaf of a dock plant which is often grows beside the nettle plant in the wild. Some naturally occurring acids are vinegar in acetic acid is in vinegar, citric acid is in orange and lemons, tartaric acid is in tamarind, oxalic acid in tomatoes, lactic acid in sour milk, methanoic acid in stings of nettle and ant, malic acid in apples, and butyric acid in rancid butter. Chemicals from common salt. Now let us discuss the chemicals obtained from common salt. Chemicals obtained from common salt are sodium hydroxide, sodium bicarbonate, that is baking soda, sodium carbonate, that is washing soda. Sodium chloride is prepared by neutralization of sodium hydroxide with hydrochloric acid. NaOH plus HCl gives NaCl plus H2O. Sodium chloride as table salt is used in foods for taste. Sodium chloride is obtained from seawater. On the seashores, bunds are constructed and seawater is allowed to flow into these bunds. When seawater in the bunds is evaporated due to sunlight, and finally salt is obtained. This salt is collected and purified. For the purification of salt, it is dissolved in water and filtered to remove the insoluble impurities. The salt solution is evaporated to get the pure salt. Preparation of sodium hydroxide. Saturated solution of sodium chloride is called brine. When brine is subjected to electrolysis, sodium hydroxide is obtained. This process is called chloralkali process because chlorine is obtained in this process. So here chlorine obtained is referred as chlor and sodium hydroxide is referred as alkali. Therefore this process is referred as chloralkali process. Brine is kept in a chamber which is separated by a membrane, and this membrane allows ions to pass towards respective electrodes. So the overall reaction involved here is sodium chloride plus water gives sodium hydroxide. This is subjected to electrolysis. So it forms sodium hydroxide, chlorine and hydrogen gas. During electrolysis process, chlorine is obtained at anode and hydrogen gas is obtained at cathode. Now in this diagram, this brine, that is sodium chloride, is passed into the chamber. So sodium chloride ionizes into sodium ions and chloride ions, and water ionizes into H plus ion and OH minus ions. So during the electrolysis process, chlorine releases at anode. So this is anode, and hydrogen releases at cathode. So these gases, the chlorine gas is used for the water treatment, swimming pools, treatment of water in swimming pools, preparation of PVC, disinfectants, CFC, chlorofluorocarbons, pesticides, etc. Whereas this hydrogen, which is obtained as byproduct, it is used as a fuel, used in making margarine, ammonia, which is used for fertilizers. So the sodium chloride, which is caustic alkali, is used for degreasing of metals, preparation of soaps and detergents, paper making and artificial fibers. Sodium carbonate, Na2CO3 This is commonly known as washing soda. Sodium carbonate or washing soda is generally prepared in ammonia soda process or Solvay process. The process involves when carbon dioxide gas is bubbled through a brine solution saturated with ammonia, it results in the formation of sodium hydrogen carbonate. So NH3 plus H2O plus carbon dioxide gives ammonium bicarbonate. This ammonium bicarbonate is reacted with the brine, that is saturated solution of sodium chloride. We get sodium hydrogen carbonate and ammonium chloride. Sodium hydrogen carbonate so formed precipitates out because of the common ion effect caused due to the presence of excess of sodium chloride. The so produces sodium bicarbonate is heated strongly to get sodium carbonate. The sodium carbonate is dissolved in water to get a saturated solution, and this solution is crystallized to get sodium carbonate decahydrate, that is Na2CO3 10H2O. So in the reaction, sodium carbonate plus water, and it is crystallized to get washing soda. Uses of washing soda. Sodium carbonate or washing soda is used in glass, soap and paper industries. It is used in the manufacture of sodium compounds such as borax, Na2B2O7. Sodium carbonate can be used as a cleaning agent for domestic purpose. It is used for removing permanent hardness of water. Now let us see sodium hydrogen carbonate, that is NaHCO3. Sodium hydrogen carbonate is obtained as intermediate product in Solvay process, which is used for the manufacture of sodium carbonate. So it can also be prepared by passing carbon dioxide gas through a solution of sodium carbonate so that NaHCO3 being less soluble crystallizes out. So Na2CO3 plus CO2 plus H2O gives NaHCO3. Alternately, in solvay process it is prepared by passing carbon dioxide and ammonia gases through sodium chloride. We get sodium hydrogen carbonate. When sodium hydrogen carbonate is heated, it decomposes to sodium carbonate as in this reaction. Uses of sodium bicarbonate. It is used for making baking powder. NaHCO3 is commonly known as baking soda. Baking powder is a mixture of baking soda and tartaric acid. Baking powder is used for baking cakes and also in the cooking process. Cake batter is mixed with baking powder and kept in oven. On heating the cake batter, the baking soda gets decomposed and carbon dioxide gets released as is shown in the reaction. The released carbon dioxide gas escapes out, and as the CO2 gas escapes through the cake batter, the cake gets puffy or spongy. Thus, the process is called baking of cake. As the sodium bicarbonate decomposes sodium carbonate, which is solid substance, is left in the cake. This sodium carbonate is basic in nature. Therefore, the leftover sodium carbonate gives better taste to the cake. This better taste is neutralized by the tartaric acid. Since baking powder is a mixture of baking soda and tartaric acid, which is one of the ingredient of the baking powder. Sodium hydrogen carbonate is also an ingredient of antacids. Sodium hydrogen carbonate being alkaline, it neutralizes excess of acid produced in the stomach and provides relief. It is also used in soda ash fire extinguishers. Bleaching powder. Chlorine gas is obtained during the electrolysis of brine solution and it is passed through lime water to get bleaching powder. So bleaching powder is a chemically calcium oxychloride CaOCl2. So lime water plus chlorine gives calcium oxychloride and water. Uses of bleaching powder. Bleaching powder is used for the bleaching of cotton in a textile industry, wood pulp in paper industry, washed clothes in laundry. As an oxidizing agent in many chemical industries to make drinking water free from germs. So all these are the uses of bleaching powder. Next, plaster of Paris. Plaster of Paris is chemically calcium sulfate half H2O. So it is a calcium sulfate hemihydrate. It is obtained by heating gypsum. Gypsum formula is CaSO4 2H2O. So when gypsum is heated at 373 Kelvin, we get CaSO4 half H2O plus 1 and half H2O. Plaster of Paris is a white powder. When it is mixed with water, it changes to gypsum, which is a hard solid mass. So when calcium sulfate mixes with water, so it becomes hard, that is gypsum is formed. Then uses of plaster of Paris. It is used to make bandages in hospitals for setting fractured and broken bones by keeping POP. POP means plaster of Paris. POP in right places. It is used to make idols like Ganesh idols, etc. for making toys and other decorative items. Water of crystallization. The number of water molecules that associate with one molecule of a salt is called water of crystallization. In copper sulfate 5H2O, which is preferred as blue vitriol because it is blue in color, it is chemically called as copper sulfate pentahydrate. When copper sulfate pentahydrate is blue in color, when it is heated, water of crystallization evaporates and white solid is left in the test tube. So here copper sulfate in test tube is heated with the help of tongs. So initially it is blue in color. After heating, the water droplets are observed on the walls of the test tube. These water droplets are due to the evaporation of water of crystallization. And finally, white solid is left in the test tube. So the equation involved here is CuSO4 5H2O gives CuSO4 plus 5H2O. This copper sulfate 5H2O is blue in color, whereas anhydrous copper sulfate, that is without water of crystallization, is white in color. Other examples: ferrous sulfate 7H2O, green vitriol, ferrous sulfate heptahydrate, magnesium sulfate heptahydrate, which is commonly known as Epsom salt, cobalt chloride dihydrate, sodium carbonate 10H2O, that is washing soda. Sodium sulfate decahydrate, which is commonly referred as Glauber's salt. Zinc sulfate heptahydrate, commonly known as white vitriol. Copper sulfate plus 5H2O, copper sulfate pentahydrate, blue vitriol. Calcium sulfate 2H2O, gypsum. Now let us see deliquescence. The phenomenon in which certain substances when exposed to air absorb moisture to become saturated solution is called deliquescence, and those substances are called deliquescent substances. Examples for deliquescent substances are sodium hydroxide, magnesium chloride, ferric chloride, zinc chloride, etc. When sodium hydroxide pellets kept in a watch glass, after some time it becomes liquid as it absorbs moisture from air, and in that moisture sodium hydroxide itself dissolves and becomes a saturated solution. Therefore, such substances should be kept in airtight bottles. In chemistry laboratory, the above mentioned chemicals, after usage of them for considerable time, that is number of days, etc., should be discarded as they become liquids and not useful. Hygroscopy, the phenomenon in which water when certain substances are exposed to air, absorb moisture in less quantity but no change in physical state are called hygroscopic substances, and phenomenon is called hygroscopy. So examples of hygroscopic substances are calcium oxide, calcium chloride, phosphorus pentoxide, etc. As above substances absorb moisture from the atmospheric air but no change in physical state, they are used for drying other substances, that is, they are called drying agents. So this is a desiccator which is used for drying of the substance. So here drying agent like CaO, CS, Cl2, P2O5, etc. kept, and here this is the substance which is to be dried. This instrument is known as a desiccator. Next, efflorescence, the phenomenon in which when certain hydrated substances are exposed to air, lose some or all the water of crystallization and become a brittle powder. It is called efflorescence, and those substances are called efflorescent substances. When sodium carbonate decahydrate, that is washing soda, is exposed to atmosphere, it loses 9 molecules of water of crystallization and becomes Na2CO3 H2O, which is a brittle powder. Thank you. Students are advised to revise this lesson and prepare well for examination.